Hi everyone, it's Carol here. Thank you for joining me. So, if you've been watching my videos last Friday, I think it was last Friday, I said that I wanted to finish this journal off, and since that video I have sorted out a whole load of stuff that got printed off that I know will go in this journal. Now, I can already tell I'm going to end up making too much. So, what the heck? It just means it's all then ready for another journal then, doesn't it? But this is not any kind of tutorial. This is just me sitting here making stuff. So this is going to be for Saturday, which is based around working with digital kits to build your ephemera stash, of which I think I'm going to end up doing that because, as I say, I think there's going to be too much for this journal. But anyway, hey-ho. I've already done a little bit of prepping, so I can start work on those. It's going to be a bit of a mishmash, but we'll see how we go. So I could not. I decided to do this as a tag in the journal, and I muxed it up. So I searched through every single ink and page PDF download that I'd got. Could I find it? Could I heck? Anyway, I did eventually, but it took several hours and a lot of cussing because I printed it off and then I folded it up and realised it's the wrong size. So I need to do another one, but at least I've got a spare. So I am going to make a pile. Look at all these papers I've got printed off. Yeah, there's going to be way too much, but anyway. As I say, it don't matter because it just means I've lost that bit of paper now. Where did I put it there? Just means that I'll have extra to play with for another journal. Right. Paper trimmer. I might end up waffling a load of rubbish, but I'm just sat here on my billy. Right, so I want that width, but I don't want the full length. Whereas I used the full length on that bit that I did wrong, but hey ho. So yeah, I might end up just waffling a load of rubbish, but we'll see what we can get done. And if you would care to join me, please feel free to get your own digital papers out and just make along with me. It's a shame that we can't chat, really. If I was doing this as a live, we'd be able to chat at the same time and have a brew at the same time. In fact, oh, it's there. Oh, panicking then. Thought I'd forgotten my cup of tea. For those in the US especially, when I talk about a brew, I don't mean a pint of beer. A brew in Yorkshire is a cup of tea. Right, that's the height of someone too. Come on, go under. Just go under. Thank you. And I'm saying I can't stay on too long because I've got to take the dog out. But he might just have to wait. If I'm at a critical point, he might just have to wait. Of course, the other thing is that you can put me on fast forward. Oh, I didn't want the pattern that way. I'm past caring. I am past caring. Right, so it's to go in that pocket. So let me just fold this one up to make sure that I am doing it to the right size. Yes. Okay. Right, that way, Carol. That way. Fold it in half. And fold it in half again. And and then it will be narrow enough to fit in. So, I haven't got masses to chat about, to be fair. Apart from my daughter unexpectedly turned up yesterday with my, hang on, youngest granddaughter. Just bear with. And she's into doing nails. So she did my nails for me yesterday and she painted this one purple, but needs a second coat on really. Okay, so I've got some Stampin' Up punches. Let's see which one I want to do as the top. Boop-a-doo. Oh, that works. So apparently I'm using that one. Ha ha ha. Okay, so it's now got that pretty little top, look. Pretty. And then it can open up. And it can open up. And I'll need to ink up all of those edges. But I'm not doing that tonight. No siree, Jim Bob. Okay, so that will go in there. And I need to take a little bit off the length. So, about there, I reckon. Right, so I'm going to sit that in there because that's where it's going. And I know that when I go through and do my finishing off touches, I need to ink that up. Right, shove you over to the side somewhere, put you in the bin. And next. So, I've got too much on my desk. I want to utilise some of these and I want to utilise some of these. But which ones do I want? I've already backed it onto some file folder. Let's do you. Because you've got a nice big aperture. Oh, in fact, I want that one as well because I've just thought of something that I can do on there. I was watching someone's video the other day and I thought, oh, I could do that. I've got that stuff. Oh, actually, do I want to do that one? Oh, it's got a smaller aperture though. Forget that idea. I bet you my corner rounder's downstairs as well. Oh well. See, told you. Making it up as I go along. So, I'm going to poke a hole. My fingers are splayed so that I'm not going to poke my finger. Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to cut a slot in the middle there. I'm going to cut down to that corner. And then I'm going to cut up to that corner. And then that one. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, so youngest granddaughter. Oh, she's not my youngest granddaughter anymore, is she? Lana's the youngest. She's coming up to 2. And she can't have a birthday for another 3 years because she was born in a leap year. Right. So if I'd cut this from, start again. If I'd printed this on paper, I would then fold these back to that edge, and then I'd stick them down on the back over here and cut off any overhang. But because I've glued it onto card, it's a bit too thick to do that, so I'm gonna have to cut it out. And at least with doing those triangles, that's that bit done. Okay, let's do this next bit. How's that bit done? So yeah, if you're following along on the Saturdays of working with some of your digital papers and, you know, actually making something with them rather than them being sat on the side in a pouch or box or whatever, because you printed them off but you've done nothing with them yet, this is your ideal time to pull one out. It could be a real quick, simple one. Pull it out and get it done. And then that's one less in the pile and one more lot of ephemera or embellishments that you have made to either add to a journal or to add to your stash. Because if you don't make the time to do it, it just ends up getting left. And then you forget that you've got it. And then you'll either go and purchase the kit again. Ask me how I know. Done that several times. A bit more off there. Or it'll just be sat in that box for years to come. And then when you're dead and buried and someone's rooting through your attic because someone shoved it up in the attic, they'll come across it and they'll go, what the heck's this? So get it done, get it used. Okay, the outside up. Look, it's crumbling. And I just think that if you set yourself the target of every Saturday or Sunday whilst you're watching this video, because that's what it's here for, is to inspire you to get up off your bum and go and get it done. So yeah, you can sit with me, listen to me prattle on about a load of rubbish and get it done. Right, so for this one, have I got a... I've got a plastic sleeve. This is one of my CD cases that I use for storing my embellishments in. But it's an ideal little plastic sheet for making a window frame. And I use these a lot. Amazon must think, well, hey, she's ordering them CD cases again. I'll be earning them a fortune. Okay, that's that one. And then that can sit on the back. So I'm just going to trim it down to size. Anyway, the other thing I'd like to know is where you're all watching from. Because obviously there's a few of you, not masses, but there's a few of you watching. And I guess from a few of the comments that you're from America, most of you. Let me make a bit of space so that you can see what I'm doing. And I know that there's a couple from Australia and there's a couple from Canada There's a few from the UK. But yeah, it would be nice to know where you're all from. I use both those pieces. Okay. About that long. So I'm just sticking this bit of plastic on the back. And once I've put the picture in, come on, split, I will add a back onto it. Now, I can either glue this picture in place or have it as a pocket. Let's trim that bit off. So you can go like that. So I'll need to make a decision in a minute whether to have it as a journal card. So that's nice, isn't it? I like the purple, girls, though, because the journal is a very purpley. I just thought you might not be able to see that because you've got the reflection. With that one, it's got the oval background with a little bit of the florals in, which goes with the florals of the frame. Well, they stand out quite well in their day. Oh, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to put them little girls in, I think, because they stand out quite well. So I might have to put this to one side for a minute whilst I make a decision. Do I make this into a pocket so that that picture can come in and out, or out that way? I could do it out that way and put a tab on the side. It's not an awful lot of room though. Oh, there'll be enough. We'll do that. We'll do that. Decision made. Sometimes you've just got to go, right, that's it, I'm doing it. So. Oh, I know what I've got. So, for some reason, I glued this. I folded it in half and glued it together. So I could use that as the backing. Like that idea. Right, so I want to cut round that. And then when you take the picture out, at least it looks pretty. I'll have to trim it down again in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to have it that way around because that's the loose edge. That's the folded edge, so that if I'm pulling that picture out, it's coming out with the folded edge. So if I had it the other way around and the picture was coming out, when I went to go and put the picture in, I might just catch that slightly more uneven edge. Okay. So I need to put glue around 3 sides. That's the side I want open. Grey cups. Top's come off my pin. That top has come off the pin and the pin is stuck. Right, I don't recommend that you pull it out with your teeth like I've just done. I can feel that I've got a bit of a clog there. There we go. Just stick my pin back in there. Right. Only on camera, eh? So, thin line of glue around 3 sides. Oh, tell you what as well. I nearly went and glued the 4th side then because I was thinking, right, so folded edge is at the open side. That's the opening. Trim that bit off the top. Okay, let that just set off a bit. Then I want, now I'll put in here some, yes, there we go. Now, a lady asked me what kit I'd used the other day, and I told her one name, but actually when I was looking through, I've used about 5 or 6 different kits. I'll try this ziggy zag again. So please don't ask me what kit I've used, because I've used that many. What bit of scrap paper. So I've left my glue book downstairs. So yeah, because I was trying to find that piece of paper that I showed you at the beginning, I was going through and I was like, oh, I used that. And oh, I used that. It's like all these different kits I've used. Right, so that corner up there. I think I quite like this. Oh, picked up the ink. I used it twice, and someone, I think it was Amanda from Australia, wrote in the comments that a lot of people use it for re-gluing up like their cricket mats, you know, the sticky back mats. I just thought, yes, I want it the size that it is. But she said it's very expensive in in Australia. I'm sure it was Amanda. She'll let me know if she's watching. We go, yeah, it was me. Okay, so this is now backed with some paper so that it can be written on if you pull the picture out. And we want a little tab, so I'm just thinking I can use this paper. I'll just punch out a single rather than a double. So if you want a double that's going to fold around, you need to fold your paper in half to use this one. But you can just punch out a single, and then I can have that coming from behind like that. That's the backing. Put you over there. Oh, too many punches out now. Ink you up. And I can always add a little dangle onto the tab. That can be one of my finishing off projects when I do all the faffing bits. Okay. the light side showing. Yes. And then that can go there. Okay, ink the back up. And then that can slot in there. No, there we go. Stuff on my window. So that little tab now makes it easier to pull it out. Quite like that. Okay, so that's 2 things done. Right. Do I want to make another one right now? I'm going to roughly cut this out because I don't want to bore you by making another one. So I will make another one off camera. Oh, I tell you what might look quite nice. I want me smaller butterflies. Okay. Just as an example, if you imagine a smaller one, just put a small butterfly down there on the corner of that picture. Yes. Yes, we're liking that. And then I could put a little label on the back. Yes, liking that idea as well. In fact, I'm going to nip downstairs in a minute. So, I don't know which picture yet, so I'll just keep all of them with them. Put that off to one side. Okay, that's that bit done. Next. Right. Put you there. These I'd printed off and stuck them onto the back of some paper. Now, I mentioned this the other day that I have printed on so many sheets of my good paper, and rather than throwing them away, I have printed on the back side, and then I'm gluing stuff to the inside. Now, I saw something earlier that can be stuck down on here. Just bear with me while I try and find it. Haha, found it. Because I really like those 2 labels there. Okay. I'm going to cut them in 2 just to make sure that I've got enough space to put them on. then that can be glued onto that, and then all of that lot can be cut out. Now it seems to be quite good, this glue, but I haven't really tested it yet. I saw GK using it the other day, and I was like, ooh, because I like the spreader on it. I don't know how long it stays tacky for, and I'm not going to test it out right now, because again, don't want to bore you. But I will do a little bit of a test with it, and I'll let you know. Okay, now I can fussy cut these out. So I knew that I needed some journaling cards. So these will be some of they. I'm sorry, I'm not checking to see if I'm in shot. Bit rubbish, aren't I? Really? So I don't need to go fussy and fancy with all of the journaling cards. You know, they can be just printed, just backed, and just cut out. Don't really need that pocket. It'd be quite nice to have some of the tickets though. I think I've got enough pockets. I found some papers that would make really nice big journal cards. I like a big journal card, and I like a big tag. Oh, not quite in shot there. And I tell you what I always think is nice with little ticket shapes like this, ones that have got empty space in. In fact, I'll do it in a second once I've cut them out. But I think they're a nice place to keep a date on. So like the date that you've either made your journal or an entry that you're making into your journal. Didn't cut that very well. There we go. So I'm actually going to put the 1st of February on this, because probably by the time I get around to actually putting these in the journal, because the journal is quite nearly finished. So then someone has got it in the journal to say that this was made in February 2026, although it was started in 2025. So I was talking to our Tracy the other night, and she's coming over at some point this weekend, and we're going to have a crafting day. We're trying to decide what we're going to do, because we were torn between what did we choose now? Jelly printing, foam, using some shaving foam printing, doing that. I'm going to show her how to do something with stencils, which I'm actually going to do a video on. It's an old technique that I've used before, but I think some people might need either a reminder or introduced to it. So we can just have a nice relaxing day of playing, just playing. Again, I'll ink those up off camera. So that's those two done. That's the stamp, the tickets, and then this is the stamp that I've got. So it's a date stamp. So I'm it the right way around so you can read it, Carol. So move it over to February, move it to 0, 0. I don't want it blank. Is there a blank? No, not a blank space. Okay, 0 and 1. And I always test it because I always get it the wrong way around. So I want it that way around so that the year is on the right hand side. And I also want to make sure I've got enough ink on it. There we go. So I think this one. So I might put that at the bottom, and then I'll make up some date across the top for 2025. I don't think I put that on square. Ah! Oh, it'll do. There you go. And then I'll put another one up here for 2025. See, I always do that as well. I always get it too low, too high. And then that can go in the journal. I'll put the start date on. Then it's got a little reference, and I could write my name on the back to say that I made the journal. Okay. Just want to cut them out. I'm just going to cut them out roughly for now because I want to make sure that that glue is completely dried. Right, get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you, get rid of you. You can be for another day. And you can be kept. Right, scraps are over there. That I'll cut out later on. What's next? Now I have to tell you, I just love this image because I used to be an embroidery designer, and it looks as though it looks like crewel embroidery, so it looks like it's been embroidered. It's just beautiful. I love it. These are 2 separate pieces that I've glued onto some backing paper, and I think that makes a pocket on top of that, and then that sits in the pocket, so it's a bit like a library pocket. So we might as well make it up, seeing as we're here. But I'm going to have this as a big journaling card. I need to just check if on the back I've got it. I might have some of the white showing, so I might have to chop it down a little bit. Yeah, see? Let's chop it that way. Okay. As I say, I don't think my corner round is up here, so I'm going to do it by eye. Cut the pocket out next. I think it's a pocket. If it is, I think it's going to be a small one. Better just check, hadn't I? So otherwise I'm going to have to find another piece of paper and make a pocket out of that. Oh. Oh. Pocket. So if this doesn't fit, that one might have to do. Okay. Ooh, it just, widthwise, that just fits under there. But I'm going to have to be really careful with the glue. I actually don't like it on there. So, do I want that one on? I'm going to put that one on. Now, that's the way it's meant to be. But I don't like these roses drooping down that way. So I'm going to spin it round. I'm going to cut off that top flap, but I'm going to keep the 2 side flaps. So that's the other thing I think that a lot of people forget, that with a digital kit, is that they feel that they've got to do exactly what they see on the digital, instead of going, ooh, I could do that, and I could do this with that. Right, so I could leave that bit of card there and do a flap at the bottom. Will that peel off? That don't make any difference. Okay. I have to use my scoreboard. It's too thick to just bend over. First thought. I'm using this. Does that? Yeah, it does. Whew. Thought with just my luck it don't fit in. Okay, so that's that one. And that's that one. So if you're a regular viewer of mine, of the videos that I produced throughout January, because there was a lot, which one's your favourite? Which is the one that you felt most inspired by? Okay, that's that bit. That's that bit. And that's that bit. Oh, you see, perfect fit. Okay, think that up. And again, what I think I'll do is, when I'm downstairs, my little craft area downstairs, I'll have a look and see if there's a little word or saying that can go on there. Am I not getting glue on the inside of my pocket? Thank you. Right. What's that tag was sticking? I'm also trying to work out as well, after I've finished completing this journal, which is the next one to complete, because I've got loads to finish off. And again, just for now, I'll cut this out. Bob it in the pocket. I think the more preparation I can do with stuff like this, the easier it'll then be to decorate up when I decide exactly what's going inside the journal itself, because that will determine whether it wants a butterfly on it or a flower on it. Okay, for now I'm just going to cut that up so that it's ready. I think it needs to be stitched on the sewing machine. I think that will enhance it. Now at the minute I've got brown sewing thread in my sewing machine, and I don't want to stitch it with brown. You never know, I might actually do some hand stitching on it. But for now, that is now set up. So again, once I decide exactly what I want to do or where it's going to go in the journal, I can then make some decisions. I'm just thinking those would be nice on a page, one on each side. And then the likes of this could slot down behind it. That's a nice idea actually, Carol. So I'm going to cut out roughly, because I think they'll need to be stuck to some more paper, because this paper on its own is a bit too flimsy. So I think they'll need to be backed. And a little bit of a hinge made on each end, on each side, I should say. So then they could be opened up to reveal. Yeah, liking that idea. Okay, paper clip. Ugh. Clip them two together, and that will remind me that that's with that. What's next? Oh, so let me have a slurp of tea. So if any of you watched the dangles video that I did on Monday, what did I call it? Dangles and charms, I think, something like that. I mentioned that I'd got this box full of these pre-cut shapes. And then I came across this that I'd printed off, and I was like, oh, because I think that these look like extra large postage stamps. And I thought that they would look lovely on there. Now, I did check, and they're roughly fractionally smaller than that. So I think I need to cut them down a little bit more. But I thought, wouldn't they be lovely stuck down in the journal? I particularly like that one. Really pretty. And that one. And that one. Just like them all, really. Okay, so I'm going to try with this one. So I'm going to cut it down to the size that it's supposed to be. Because then I can trim it down to be a little bit smaller. So let's just have a look. Oh, actually, do I want to trim it down? I don't think I do. I think that they're perfect. Now it looks like a proper postage stamp. Right. Ho-ho! We're having some of that. Okay. Bit of inking. Get rid of that white edge. I'm going to cut them others out as well whilst I'm here. Get them done. And then I think we'll add that onto those squares. Now, I'm not going to use them to look like a postage stamp, say, on an envelope, because they're way too big. But you'll see in a minute what I'm thinking. But I need to do a couple first. Okay, so there's one. I think that one, oh, I got so excited, look, I didn't have my slurp of tea. Okay, this one, this one, this one. Because there were a couple of pages in the journal that were blank. And I said, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with them. Well, I could utilise these. On some of those blank pages. That is, I'm really chuffed with that. It's really pretty. Because I've been umming and ahhing what, I was like, what can I do with them squares? Couldn't for the life of me think about what to do with them. And then when I came across these, perfect fit. Perfect. It's like they were invented for them. Okay. Oh, bit lower, bit lower. Come on, move. Just a tad. Come on, move. It's the only thing I don't like about this glue. My art glitter glue is that kind of, once it's on, it's kind of on. Right, so that's 2. I'm going to do 2 more. Where's the line? There. We'll cut straight across there. Now, down there. I'm going to cut, after I've got off the camera, you know, I'm going to cut the rest of them out and stick them all on them squares. And there's different patterns in here as well, look. So, there's some green stripy ones. Oh, there's another text one. There's some, like, potpourri style ones. And there's just a couple of blue ones. They're ideal for this. Right, just checking size again. Right, so that needs trimming down just a fraction. Just a mere fraction on 2 sides. Let's try that. Perfecto. Okay. These would be really nice, what I'm thinking of doing on any little space that you've got on a page. That you're like, it just needs that little bit of something. Right, I'll do one more. One more. And Debbie has done loads of this size as well. What I have to do is, I've got a punch that does this serrated edge. So if I use these up, I will, how does that finish? I think it finishes there. I have to go through all my scraps and punch some out. And then I can stick all of these onto them. You know when you do something and you're like, whoa, that's brilliant. Then you're like, I want to create 20,000 of them. Oh, just check, Carol. Did I check? I checked. Okay, it'll fit. Could have done with maybe a tiny smidge, but we'll make do. We will make do. Okay, so that's me 4. Now then, let me put the top on that, so otherwise it'll be drying up. So like here, look, I've got a blank page there. Would work on something like this as well. Oh, pick 2 up. So you could have them running down, or 4 foot on. Might only be able to get 3 on. Okay, so 3. That's all right. Now, if I glue them top and bottom and leave it open on each side, I could get a piece of coffee dyed paper or, you know, any of the decorative papers and slip it underneath. So then you could write on it, but you could also pull it out, turn it over, write on the back. But yeah, wouldn't that look pretty? Oh, sorry, slightly out of shot. See, I get so excited sometimes. I forget about being in shot. That better, yeah. So, I haven't got anything really to hand. Just chop a little strip off that. So if you imagine that that's glued to your page, then you get your little strip so that that will sit underneath and slide through. Chop it off there. Maybe do a tag end. Then you could write on here, but then you can pull it out, write on the back, and then slot it back in. Oh, love that idea. Love it. But you could even do it sort of running down. Oh, let's do it on this page because you can see it better, especially if I'm in shot. Do it down the middle. Put you on. So then your piece of paper would extend on both sides. So your main message, whatever it is you want to write, you could write on the back, and then it's a bit private. And then maybe you could write a word or a word on those two sides. But yeah, I like that idea. So that'll be going in this journal. I just need to find the right page for it. Right, that's them done. Right, anything else? How long have I been on? Oh, 1 hour and 3 minutes. Right, I'm going to call it a day. Because I need to take my Poochie out for a walk. But just to show you quickly the other things that I've kind of got ready that I want to do. So that's a few bits and pieces made up, sort of ready to go. Just a few little bits and pieces to complete them. But I found this page, and it's got these little pockets on, and I like those again for another blank page that's in the journal. But there was also this slot page as well, which I thought could... So I've got this pocket on this side here. Thought having that slot one down there would be quite nice. And then I can slot some little cards in there. And I've got one on the other side of this piece of paper as well. So I thought that might work out quite well. All the little pockets. There's some more sort of stamps there. There's this little picture pocket pouch. That I want to make up. I want to make this one up, and I want to add some plastic onto that to make it a bit shiny. That's going to be the lining paper for that. There's a little notebook. So I thought I need some coffee dyed papers for that. Make a little notebook, put that pocket on the inside, put that journal card inside of the pocket. That's the lining paper for that one. I printed off some vellum envelopes, so I'll make those up, and those can be tucked in somewhere. This is a file folder that I've cut out It's just backed onto some craft coloured file folder. And then I can put a belly band on the back of here. And that can go in my big secret pocket, is what I was thinking for that one. And then I've got some journal cards. So there's that one, which I thought would be quite nice lined with that paper. There's that one. There's those, because it's journaling cards and the like that I'm going to need a lot of. Then there's these, there's these thin strip ones. Colour-wise, they're not going to go, I don't think, but you know how I said about putting a strip underneath? If I cut them a little bit thinner, colour-wise, they're not going to go. But I'm sure that there's some others in some of the other kits that would go colour-wise with those. Anyway, just a thought. So there's those. What else was there? And there's these journal cards. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to use those or not. Well, I'll see how I get on. And then there's these, that way around, these two big sheets, which can go in the bigger pockets. And I've already backed them with one of the papers, but they would need some kind of decorating on them. So I've still got a fair bit to do, but at least I've kind of got it set up so that I can sit on an evening now and I can just mess about quite happily, putting these bits and bats together to be able to complete that journal. And I think that that's one of the knacks is getting your bits together of what you think are going to go in your journal and just gather them into a little pile somewhere, keep them in a folder or whatever. And then every so often you can get a few bits out, decorate them up, and then they're ready then to go into the journal. So what did we make? So I've got that one that I think I'm going to use that with. I need to do a little bit of testing on that to make that one work. I've got that sort of library pocket kind of done. Needs a little bit of bits and pieces doing to it. Got those little lovely postage squares done. That's a leftover. Got the tickets cut out. I put one of the dates on. Got two smaller journaling cards just cut out. Want some ink in. They want cutting out, and I've made the picture frame so that that pulls out. And I also cut out and folded up that big long taggy piece there. So a few bits and pieces done in an hour. So that's not bad going, really. And as I say, I'm going to take the pooch out for a walk. I'm going to have a fresh cup of tea because that one's gone cold. And then I am going to sit and do some more on this. So you'll probably see all of this when it comes to me showing you that journal when it's all done and dusted. Or you never know, I might not get that far and I might end up doing another video. I hope it's inspired you to have a look at your own stuff and get some digikits out that you've either printed or that you're stored on your computer. Get them printed off, get them cut out, start to make a few bits and pieces up, and you'll soon start to build your stash up. Thanks for sitting with me whilst I did this. Sorry it couldn't be a two-way conversation because that would have been lovely. And I shall see you all again really soon. Take care of yourselves. Have a lovely crafty weekend. Bye for now. Bye.